Welcome back to the Magic of the Musicals. It's always nice to catch up with an old friend and one of my favourite people ever, Sharon D Clarke. How are you?
Hi, how you doing, Alex? You well, babe?
These years keep passing by and I keep seeing you, and you never cease to amaze me. Here we are at Ghost at the Piccadilly, and you've done it again. Another massive hit. Congratulations.
Well, it's not down to me, is it? Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of money and time gone into it. It's something that I'm really, really proud to be a part of and just absolutely loving it. It's great fun.
I've got to say, there aren't many shows out there with this kind of talent and budget and set and scenery and lighting and music. I mean, this is exceptional. I wasn't sure I was going to like it because you think it's going to be a bit girly, but actually there's great magic tricks in this for the guys as well as a funny plot.
I think that's what's good. I think most men think, it's really sentimental and it's all about crying and the tissues, and we're not into that. But actually when they come, there's so much more. The music's fantastic. It's rocky. It's not all ballads. So, there's something for them there. And then there's great illusions. I mean, like Paul Keeve has just done the most wonderful job at making all of us go, oh my God, how do you do that? How do you do it? I mean, we're in the show and we're still going, bloody hell. Do you know what I mean? I watched an understudy run last week and was just amazed at how stuff looked because, especially for me, Rich, we've never had a chance to see how it looks. So you see how that translates to the audience. You're like, yeah, it's great.
How much hard work is it getting it from that moment where you're reading the script to getting it here in the West End? I mean, there's months and months of planning and rehearsals and tightening it up and reworking this and reworking that.
Well, for us, it was quite a long rehearsal. Well, the rehearsal period was sort of like normal as everything, but the tech period was a 4-week tech, and I've never ever done a 4-week tech before. And it felt long. I mean, the first 2 weeks, you're like, okay, and then by the third week, you're like, okay, this should be finished now, and then the fourth week, you're still going. But because of all the illusions and because things have to be precise, everything has to be very, very precise. That's something that you just have to hone, and you just have to keep honing it. And so, that took quite a lot of time and a lot of money. But it's all for the greater good. It shows in the show. It's a spectacular without all the illusions taking over the story. And I think that's what really works about this, is that you don't just come for the illusions. The illusions are a part of the story and blend in with it and don't take over, don't overshine.
You're so important to this story because it would be quite dour without you. It's a really sad story, let's face it. A love story gone wrong where somebody dies ain't going to make people very happy in an economy like this. You come on and you immediately cheer us up. And let's talk about you. The voice is one of the best in the world as far as I'm concerned. But your personality is just so warm and funny. I mean, you were born to do this, weren't you?
I don't know, I love her. I absolutely love Oda Mae. I think she's just a joy to play. She's got a wonderful journey to make as well. She goes from being someone who is a complete fake, a complete con artist, to then being reluctantly gifted, to then accepting that gift, to then realising that there is so much more, that this whole world opens up to her, which, she'd never really considered before. And I think the arc of that journey, where it takes her emotionally as well, is just... it's fabulous. And Bruce has written just some wonderful witty one-liners which are just an absolute joy to play. I mean, she's funny, she's kooky, she's off key, she wears socks with sandals. Do you know what I mean? She's not the Oda Mae as people have seen her in the movie. Do you know what I mean? She's a little bit further away from that.
And again, you get the biggest laugh in the show.
Well, she's written funnily, thank God. You know what I mean? I get that pleasure, but she is a device to keep people from slitting their wrists because it is, a sad story.
And great tunes as well. Sometimes I worry with these musicals that the music's not going to be up to the story and the legend of the story, because everybody knows what Ghost is about and they've all seen the movie. But actually it's really good, isn't it?
The music's fantastic, and also what the music does do is it tells the story. None of the tunes are gratuitous. Do you mean they're not just in there for the sake of it? Every song tells a story, tells you what the characters feeling emotionally, what they're thinking. I mean, like when Oda Mae does Out of Here, you know exactly what she's expressing. Do you know what I mean? She's going to spend that money. She tells you how she's going to spend it, where, when, who, with. And, it just, because nothing is just like, okay, I've got a tune to listen to, but I've actually got some story along with it as well. I think the music keeps moving the story along, and that's fantastic.
I first got to know you in We Will Rock You, and then you've gone on ever since to star in every musical from Hairspray, and now you're in this. And then I read in the paper the other day that this might be going to Broadway, and you might be going with it. Can we confirm, deny? Is it possible? Would you be excited?
I have no one said anything to me yet, so I have no idea. I've had some friends text me and call me and say, "Oh, we hear you're going to Broadway," but no one's told me that I'm going to Broadway. So until that happens, I'm keeping stum.
Well, I'm not going to keep stum because this is how I feel about it. I think you're incredible. I said when I walked out of this is of Broadway standard, and let's face it, not everything in the West End is of Broadway standard. And your performance is just so amazing. However, I was very surprised by Richard Fleeseman, who is in this, and he's got a cracking voice, hasn't he?
He's got a fantastic voice. I call him my little soul boy. Do you know what I mean? He's got a really soulful voice. He's very expressive. He really handles Sam in a beautiful way. Quite maturer than he is, you know what I mean? Rich is 22, and he doesn't play it like a 22-year-old. He's got weight, he's got gravitas, and it's a joy watching him do it every night. I'm like, yeah, go on, son.
I've seen, experienced, and walked out of many productions with people like him from different soaps, and it often doesn't work. But he's kind of a cross between a bit of Josh Groban and a bit of Michael Ball, and then his own take on it, a bit of rock and roll. I was really surprised, and he carries it, because if that was weak, the show would fail, wouldn't it?
I mean, if Sam's weak, then we haven't got a show. You know, Molly could do as much as she can, but it is Sam's story. He's the one who drives it. He's the one who gets the characters to do what they do, and if he's weak, we don't have a show. But Rich is holding his own and then some. Really proud of him.
It's incredible, and of course the scenery on top of that adds this extra edge and makes it very modern. It's an old story told in a 2011 way.
Yeah, I mean, like, when I heard that they were going to do it, I thought, please don't set it back in the 90s. Do you know what I mean? Please don't do that. Make it modern, make it up to date. And they've made it really fresh. The choreography's different. Do you know what I mean? It's not the usual West End choreography that you see. The way the set moves about is very fluid, and it's just Hugh Van Stone has done an amazing job with the lights. It's all singing, all dancing set. It just looks beautiful. It's very cutting edge. It's very innovative. It's something that I'm really proud to be in, and it's very 2011. You know what I mean?
I noticed in this there's a train crash at one point, and that's spectacular, but I was thinking if any of you were in the wrong place at the wrong time, there'd be a real train crash, because this scenery is moving one foot in the wrong direction, and you're going to be ran over, aren't you?
Yeah, I had a very close shave once where when Willie Lopez comes into the parlour and Oda Mae dashes through the cupboard, and I went through the cupboard and my cloak got caught in the cupboard door, and so I was getting out of the cupboard a little bit later than usual and realised that the set was all moving and I had to get out of the way, and I literally just made it before I got my skin torn off, because the seconds are so imperative with the way everything moves. So if you miss a cue or something, it's all over.
I've said this to you before, you know I want to marry you, and you've not accepted my proposal yet. However, having seen you in these frocks that are here next to us, why are you laughing, Sharon?
That little pink number, God bless it.
It's very Bet Lynch, isn't it?
Oh, God, Bet Lynch and then some. Do you know, I think even Bet Lynch would go, hang on, cock. Do you know
How did you react when they first said, would you get into this?
When I saw the drawing, I just thought, yeah. Because it made me see how off-key she is. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, the first thing, she's got her African print dress on, she's got her sandals, she's got her socks, and I thought, what are they going to do for the second one? And when I saw this pink lame, zebra printed, leopard printed, and then with the blue zebra print shawl, you're just like, yeah, that is a wacky woman. She's got absolutely no sense of taste, which lets me know exactly where I am as a performer with regard to her. And she's just funny. Do you know what I mean?
I think you should be championed for that, because you're one of the few people in show business who gets into the part and don't care how you look. It's so important, isn't it? When you take on these characters, you've got to become it.
It's about the character. It's not about me. Do you know what I mean? Sharon, thankfully, hopefully, would never get into that and go, I look good. But do you know what I mean? Oda Mae, if I don't believe that Oda Mae thinks this is the bee's knees, then it's all over. Because I walk on and exude, I'm not comfortable, or this is all kinds of wrong. She's got to think that is the best dress in the world. Should be on Fifth Avenue. Do you know what I mean? That's what she's got to think. And yeah, I mean, I keep looking at it and just thinking, my God. But yeah, it's you just have to take the character on. That I remember watching Charlize Theron in Monster, and just the way that she completely changed herself, and she put on the weight, you know, all that stuff that she had on her face. And I think that's what acting is about. It's about taking a character on. And if you're afraid to look ugly, or you know, if you're concentrating on wanting to be glamorous, it's not acting. You're about playing people, real people, and real people aren't always glamorous. They aren't always tasteful. They aren't always pretty. Do you know what I mean? You just have to go with that and get the character across.
I've got to be honest, you are the reason I'm here today. I probably wouldn't have come and seen this had you not been in it, and I'm so glad I did, because this is probably the best show I've seen in years in terms of musical in the West End. They've really put a lot into it, and let's face it, the last few years budgets have been tight and they've not quite been doing things as well as they used to. This is really back to the heyday of Broadway theatre, isn't it?
Broadway theatre with not only great music but a strong book, which is it's so important for me that you, as a musical theatre performer, that you have a book that you can get your teeth into, because it is about the acting. It's not just about the singing. It's musical theatre, and the theatre's got to be strong for people to allow the musical to happen. And I think we're really blessed that we've got Bruce, who was the screenplay writer of the movie, has adapted it for the stage. And so we've got someone who knows the characters inside out, loves them, has worked with them, and knows what he wants from them, and has been around in rehearsals. So if we've had any questions, we've been able to go directly to the source and talk to him. Do you know what I mean? And have a discussion, and to say, well, now that we're doing this, maybe I'd like to try that, or maybe not say that, but say this. And Bruce has gone, yeah, let's try it. And that's been a real joy. He hasn't been precious.
There's a lot of people out there who want to be West End and Broadway stars, and here's the take. You need personality, you need to be able to sing, you need to be able to dance, you need to be unique, and you're all four of those. Congratulations. I always love talking to you, and seeing you is a true
Great
gift.
to see you too, my darling.
Thank you
Always
so much for
enjoy
coming
it.
back on the show.
Oh, my pleasure.
Let's do the plug then. Ghost, it's here at the Piccadilly Theatre forever. It's going to run and run and run this, and it deserves to, because it's really great. Of all the shows I've seen in the last few years, I think this is going to make it big time, and I believe you're going to go to Broadway, because you do absolute justice to this role. Sharon D Clarke, I love you.
I love you too. God bless you, Alex.